I basically wanted to do this for a really long time, so I'm finally doing it. Q&A with Mishal. Now, in this series, I'm going to be talking all the business related content. We're going to be talking about the entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking about how to hire, how to fire, how to sort of lead your teams more effectively, how to get the best out of yourself, how to get the best out of your people. We're going to be talking about social media and many more topics, and I hope that we can get this thing going for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and this really transpire into something really big. So let's not waste our time. Let's jump right into it. So Rahi, what is my question number one?
Okay, so the first question is how to create content. What are the biggest misconception about content these days?
Okay, so one of the biggest misconception that people have, that they have to be perfect on the content. Now, this is what's really happening, right? Like the way we do our business and the marketing over the last 20 years have changed a lot. Now, a lot of people intellectually understand that they're going to have to start doing something on the internet, otherwise they're going to miss out on all the opportunities that other people are grabbing on the internet. So now they know that the content marketing is really important. Otherwise, if they're not going to apply on the social media, then they're going to be obsolete in the next 5, 10, and 15 years down the track. Now, so what they are doing, they don't understand. They are just putting stuff which are not creative. Now, this is what happens. You need to start doing the content marketing, that's the fact, right? But have you look at it, have you look at your content? That's really important. If you are going to put something on the internet, on your social media platform, just for the sake of it, because other people are doing it and that's the norm, then you're going to lose big time. One of the biggest thing people need to understand, that when you are putting stuff on the internet that is not for yourself, that is not for your best friend or your family members, you're not trying to impress anyone. All you are trying to do is you are trying to communicate with the clients, you're trying to communicate with people in your niche. So if you are going to put content which are generic, it doesn't speak your soul out, it doesn't say anything about your business or your brand name, no one is going to connect, right? So I have seen people in so many other industries, they're hiring other businesses to create content for them, and all they are doing is they're populating their channels with generic content. And that's why it's like it's not doing anything to the brand name. So first, people need to understand that they have to start treating themselves as they are media company. And what a media company does, they create content. Now, let's say that you are thinking about content marketing, you are thinking about start putting your videos, or you're thinking in terms of putting some kind of a fancy website. You understand that you need to understand that, okay, for the first few times you're going to be really bad at it, you're going to have to suck at it. You need to get comfortable with people perceiving you as someone who doesn't know what they're doing at this stage. But the most important thing is you have to start, and then you are doing hundreds of iteration of that content, right? You need to achieve the frequency, and the goal always should be not to put out the perfect content, because it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have on the social media, you still not going to be perfect. Your only objective should be your next content should be better than the last one, and you have to make it engaging. You are not doing you are not doing to impress anyone. All your only intention is to try and build some sort of a community on the internet, right? So again, don't try to be perfect, because it doesn't matter that what how many people you have, or what company or firm or agency you're going to hire. If those people are not going to give you the content that really speaks something about your brand, then it's going to do a lot more damage than it's going to benefit you, right? So start from the basic. Pick up your phone and start recording. Write that blog. It doesn't have to be 3,000 word essay, but speak your mind out. Okay, write 150 words. Make a 1 minute video on your iPhone. You don't have to start investing hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the equipments. Okay, you're just starting it out, and understand this: it takes 21 years to be 21 years. It's gonna take time, right? But if you are only going to put something like 3 to 4 times a month, it's going to take you 100 years to get better at anything. Okay, you have to learn to deal with the frequency. And if other people are going to judge you, that okay, some people are going to think that you don't know what you're doing, your content is sort of cheesy, but that's the price you're going to have to pay, right? You're going to have to let people, you're going to have to give other people the permission to judge your work. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
Amazing. So the second one is how to make an impact to our people.
So okay, so when we talk about the impact, okay, a lot of people are trying to have an impact by controlling people in their company. They try and control the perception of other people and everything, right? The impact's got everything to do with the influence, right? So there's nothing I can do or say right now that's going to help me control the perception of you. You might be sort of scared of me, so you're not going to raise your voice in a meeting or while I'm talking, but you are actually running the internal dialogue and you are actually tuning out when I'm talking. So this is what happens when you're trying to control the conversation, when you're trying to control the behaviors of the other people. The only way to sort of change people, by the way, you cannot change people without their permission. Okay, so you shouldn't even try that. So what you need to do is you need to try and influence people by leading by example. So I say that I use this example all the time, and I love it because this is accurate in so many businesses, right? Just because you have a fancy office in the building, it's not going to make you a leader. It's not going to make you a person worth following, okay? If your people know, because your people are really intelligent, they're always listening, okay? Even though you are not talking, you are not saying a word, they're always observing your behavior. So if you're going to ask them to do something that you're not willing to do yourself, then they're going to stop listening to you. They're going to tune out when you are talking, right? When you are taking those meetings, when you're beating the crap out of them, they're going to tune out immediately, okay? So if you want to have impact over your people, your customers, you have to start listening to them. You're going to have to ask them the right question. What are their goals? What are their aspirations? What are their expectations out of this job? And when they say, you got to keep your mouth shut and you got to listen to them. You can't be dismissive of their ambitions. Once you start listening, once you start running your company with a compassionate heart, you automatically have the impact over other people, because now you are a leader worth following, right? Again, don't try and run your company or team by instilling the fear in their hearts, right? Fear is a great strategy until it stops being a great strategy. People are going to leave you for a better company, better leader. You shouldn't even try and control other people or something like that, right? If you want to have an impact, lead by example.
Next one is what are the more effective ways to be consistent?
Yeah, the more effective ways. Okay, so understand this. Every time we are having this kind of a conversation, that there are basically no 1, 2, 3 strategies to be consistent with anything. First of all, I do not want to be consistent at things that I really hate, right? I do not want to be consistent in let's say making food or doing the laundry. I don't care if I'm consistent with the certain part of my job. Like I don't like the editing, so I'm not my goals are not revolve around being consistent to achieve the consistency around editing. So first you need to understand that what things that you're going after that you truly want to do, okay? Like for example, your life is dependent on it. Once you are actually doing something you're absolutely passionate about, consistency comes naturally, right? Now, there are some things that you're going to have to do which you're not passionate about. but then you're going to have strong reason to do that for a certain period of time. Like for example, if you have put an extra 10 kilo around your waistline, and so obviously, and you're not comfortable with that, what's going to happen? It's going to affect your confidence, it's going to affect your breathing, it's going to affect your stamina while you're going to work, it's going to affect your stamina while you go out on a run, right? And it affects your self-esteem. So now this is something you deeply care about, right? Because you like be at your peak potential whenever you're doing something that you really want to do. So now you have basically strong reason to be consistent at going to the gym. I'll give you another example. Like something happens to you tomorrow health wise, you go to your doctor, your family doctor gives you an advice that if you don't change your lifestyle, don't change your diet, or if you don't stop smoking, you're gonna be dead in next 6 months, and you have a family, you have kids to look after, then going to the gym, changing your lifestyle radically overnight, the consistency comes naturally, right? So first you need to find something that you really, really want to do, you really care about. Then we would not have any problem with the consistency.
That's great. So we move on to the next question. Do you believe in some sort of formula or pattern how to be a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, first of all, there are no secrets or there are no formula. Obviously, there are good strategies and there are bad strategy. One good strategy has the potential to save the trial and tribulations. The one really good strategy has a power to save 5 years of your life. That's cool, but now understand this: we are living in a time where we don't lack any information. Anything that you want to do or any information that you want to have an access to is literally available on your fingertips, right? If you want to learn how to do salsa, literally go on Google and you would find 10 coaches or 10 teachers who can teach you salsa. If you want to learn something about the marketing, you can literally go on Google. Like for example, when I first started doing the editing, when I first started doing my videos, I was the one who was doing the editing, and I never in my entire life picked up the camera in my hands, right? So I had to teach myself. So I literally go on a YouTube and Google, and I was like spending more than my share of time in the trenches, right? So I've learned everything from the Google and the Facebook, Google and the YouTube. So we are not living in a time where we lack information. What we need is the execution, right? And that's where people are failing. People think that you need to have the secret sauce to be an entrepreneur, okay? But it's not the case. The basic still remains the same. But again, if you're not willing to do the work it takes to become a successful entrepreneur, then you're never ever going to make it, because we literally have so many people who have this amazing idea, and in reality, if you look at those ideas really have some real potential to change the course of human race. But all those people they would like to call themselves an entrepreneur, but they do not want to get their hands dirty. They do not want to pick up the call and talk to the investors, talk to the clients. They do not want to put in the work. They still want to maintain the 9 to 5 lifestyle. Let me tell you this: if you are going to be an entrepreneur, you have to throw this notion of working 9 to 5 and work-life balance concepts out of the window, because for the first few years it's going to be excruciatingly hard, right? For the first couple of years it's going to take you at least 1 or 2 years just to figure things out. It takes time to learn about digital marketing. It takes time to acquire certain new clients. But at the same time, you're going to have to you should be willing to you need to you want to sort of get your hands dirty. You cannot walk away from the work that you're going to have to do. Initially, you're going to have to do 5 different jobs without even getting paid for it. So if you're the kind of a guy who loves the concept of steady income, you're going to have a really difficult time to make it in the land of entrepreneurship. The number one tip that I can give all of you guys who are listening and they want to start their own business, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work, and you got to do those things that are boring, that's annoying, and yeah, and you're just gonna have to take it from there. So yeah, what's the next question?
Which is more important, the idea or the execution of the idea?
So as I briefly covered in the last question, okay, we are not living in a time where we lack any information. Just ask your parents how hard was it for them to go and find the right information, right ideas, right? They did not have the Wikipedia, they did not have the YouTube. They did not have Google. So at that time, yeah, idea, having an access to the right information was an extremely important part of the equation, but not anymore. Ideas literally sold dime a dozen. What we need is the execution. Execution is worshipped in the marketplace. You could be sitting on a gold mine, but if you're not going to start digging, you're never going to get to that gold. So now that's my time, guys. Now, before I let you go, so I really wanted to do this for a really long time, but my schedule and did not allow me to put some variations into my content. I'm going to come up with Q&A with Mishal, where I'm going to be answering questions on sales, marketing strategies and tactics, mindset, entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking about social media strategies and many more topics. Now, guys, if you want me to sort of answer any of your questions, any doubts that you have, please leave a comment in the bottom, and we're gonna try and cover that question in the next episode. Thank you for your time. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next week.